Alright, so now that I've reviewed every Alien vs. Predator movie, it's time for me to stop and rank all 12 films from worst to best. Bottom of the barrel, starting off. Bottom of the barrel, number 12, worst. Alien 3. Why did it turn? Alien 3. Most people would put Alien Resurrection at this bottom, but let me tell you something. When you take such a beloved film as Aliens, and you kill off 2.5 of the survivors, and a half I count Bishop, because he's sort of there, but he's not, and you disregard everything that film meant, and you put her on a prison planet where you don't want anyone but Ripley to survive, and then you mark that off by killing Ripley, gotta be considered the worst. But closely behind it at number 11 is Alien Resurrection. Yeah, what to say about this? It's not Ripley. It's not the character you care about. No one cares. You know, you killed her off at the end of the last film. That was bad enough, but then you bring her back, and it's not the same character. The only thing that has come for it is I like the characters in this film. Ron Perlman, the guy from CSI. They're better characters. Michael Wincott. They're better characters than the ones in the previous film. I'm sorry. Next. Number 10 is Predators. Predators. Now, once again, unlikable group of people because they are not good people. They're mostly criminals, and you have that twist with Topher Grace, and after Spider-Man 3, no one cares about Topher Grace, but you add that in here, and you don't have a human villain when there is a alien threat. Okay? And you got Lawrence Fishburne's character that doesn't make any sense having a human villain. He wants to get rid of it, but he's killing people. I don't know. That's number 10. Number 9 is Predator 2. Now, I know some people have a soft spot for this, but the first Predator film was so great, and it's that setting in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the forest, middle of the jungle, in the middle of the jungle where you don't know you have nowhere to go, you're stuck in the middle of the jungle, and you don't know what's going to come. Here, you put it in a city. You have that weird edit with King Willie. You put it in the city. Be the alien spaceship, that's cool. And the xenomorph skull. And Danny Glover's a good lead. But the city setting doesn't work for me. And just some of the effects are kind of meh. And to be honest, I don't know if I even feel like I want to watch this again. That's what these bottom 4 are. Is movies I probably don't want to rewatch. The rest of these, though, I will rewatch if I feel like it. Starting with number 8, Alien vs. Predator. Yes, sir. Just reviewed this. Not a bad film, but still not a great film. The unrated version is a little bit better than the PG-13 version, but that was what held it back. And I really don't get invested with the characters because I know they're all going to die. There's not really much of a storyline with the characters to begin with. And the characters that we want to root for, Waylon, and our main character, she's great. Lex, she's great. And Waylon, he's going to die regardless of if a xenomorph or a predator or his cancer. So it doesn't really matter, but still a good film. Something I don't think anyone would put this far up. The Predator. I'm like the only one in the world that actually likes this movie. I think it's a decent follow-up to Predators. I think it's better than Predators. I think it's better than Predator 2, actually. And it connects to Predator 2. And while there is that, it's not a big city setting. It's like suburb type thing. I like the big, meaty thing. Only problem, the big one. Only problem with that is the CGI is a little bit meh. I don't like the fact that they wrote in a scene where they had to have Olivia Munn get naked in order to escape an area, which in normal circumstances, everything would be shut down once the attack started. So I don't know. I like the characters pretty well. A lot of them die. I'm not totally invested in them, but I like them. You know, I'm not a big fan of the way they handled autism. As an autistic person, it kind of offends me a little bit. But yeah. Next, number 6 is a Prometheus. So many people would put this towards the bottom. I know they would, because they're like, oh, that's not a prequel to Alien. They never said it was. It's a movie set within the same universe that takes place before the first film. But it's a prequel. Sort of, kind of not. It's not going to connect to the original Alien, because that's not why they made it. They made it to explore the space jockeys. And they did. And people just sort of, all they wanted was a prequel to Alien. There were more Alien movies. Well, you got that. Alien Covenant, which is coming up. And you still shit on it. So, you know, all because there were still elements of Prometheus. Well, yeah, it's a sequel to Prometheus. You're not just going to get a straight up Alien film that doesn't follow this. It does, sort of. You know. Now, top 5. And you're going to be like, why is this in your top 5? Alien vs. Predator Requiem, AVPR. I told you, I like this better than the first one. I enjoy this. I would probably rewatch this more than I would, you know, the last 3 that I did. And, you know, alien babies bursting out of the womb, man. Number 4 is Alien Covenant. I enjoyed this better than Prometheus. I think that there's a little more action in it. There's a little more of the aliens that you wanted. You wanted more Alien. They added Alien to the Prometheus story. And you still got pissed because there was still Prometheus story. I think the first time I watched this, even though I was able to figure it out, I'm like, that's David. It's not Walter, that's David. Yes, it's easy to figure out. But I still like that twist that, you know, David found a way onto the ship. And he gives an excuse why he cut his hair. Otherwise, you know, the only thing is, like, why would his hair grow? He's an android. I don't know. Why does the Terminator get old? Who knows? But yeah. Number 3, the one, the only, the original, Alien. Yes, sir. Classic film, to be assured. You had to put it at least in my top 5. It's a great film, great characters, great classic scene with the chestburster coming out of John Hurt. It's a classic film. Number 2, only 2 films left. Predator, Aliens. Predator, Aliens. Predator, Aliens. What would it be? Which one is it? Well, my number 2 is Aliens. Yes. Okay, you know what my number 1 is. And are you surprised? I mean, come on. Aliens is number 2. Because while it's an excellent film, it doesn't beat out my number 1, not by a long shot. But great characters, great story, great cast, just all around great everything. Even the Xenomorph action is great. It's absolutely awesome film. But beating it out by just a hair. And number 1, of course, is Predator. And it comes down to the fact that I've seen this more times than I have Aliens. I've seen Aliens approximately 2 times. This, I've seen about 6 times, Predator. And and it gets even funnier every single time I see it. Well, not funnier. Just, well, sort of. But it gets better every single time I see it. And it's absolutely my number 1. My favorite of the franchise. Did you think, knowing me, did you think it was going to be any different? I know I sure didn't. I knew right away this was going to be number 1. But yeah, so there's my ranking of the Alien vs. Predator franchise. What are your thoughts on my ranking? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. What's the next franchise? Well, you're going to have to wait till Friday for the Flashback Friday review. What's that? You want a hint? No. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow's Throwback Thursday review, in which I will give you the hint at the end. But until then, like, share, and subscribe. I've been Scotty. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.